see the DVD. Let's talk about parenting. I won't get you all distracted. So what I'm going to talk about is rediscovering the winning principles of parenting. You know, about 30, 40 years ago, there was no question about who was in charge and who was supposed to raise the children. There was no question. There was no question about what was the right thing to do, what was the wrong thing to do. There was no question about that. The morals and the rules and the standards were set by the home. They were set by the home. And I didn't grow up in a world where there was so much pressure on young people with so many distractions and so many avenues to be connected in a way that's not beneficial. So we have a connectedness now, and I'm afraid I don't understand how people don't see how this virtual world is destroying our real world. All right? Okay? It's useful, and we have to understand it's a tool, but it doesn't govern us. Just like the Spirit is subject to the prophet, these things should be subject to us. So I have an agenda which I will follow. I have a little introduction which I've gotten into already. I'll talk about coping with the pace of change. I'll briefly talk about definitions and tasks in relation to the children, the adolescents, adults, tasks for the parents. Talk about the necessary information you need to have, and talk about establishing good habits, but lastly, talk about taking care of yourself. So that's what I'll be doing this morning. Many times you hear people talking and lamenting and saying, you know, are we too late to save this generation? Are we too late to save this generation? There's never a time in God's universe when it's too late for anything. And we as Christians cannot get involved in that negative thinking. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. You ever heard that expression? It's in the Bible. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. Tribulation worketh experience, and experience what? Hope. And so if you find yourself in tribulation, you have to realize that this is how you're going to get your experience, and that's how you're going to get to understand where your hope is. My hope is where? In Jesus Christ. My hope is in Jesus Christ. We are told in Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6 to train up a child the way that it should go. And that's where we get a problem. We are training up children in a way that we think they would go. And therefore we get disappointed when they don't go in the way we train them up. But when you train them up in the way they should go, the Bible says when they get old, because it's preparing you that they may deviate and stray. The Bible is real. The Bible is very real. The Bible don't try to fool you into thinking, oh, it's all fun and games. The Bible says, man that is born of a woman is here but for a short time and is full of trouble. Now, what you don't understand about that? What you don't understand about that? That's a short thing. And say, well, you know, sometimes, no, full of trouble. So when trouble comes, why you, oh Lord, okay, Lord, I expected it. Okay, what you want me to do? If we understand who we are, then we don't have that fear reaction. We don't have that fear reaction. We don't have that, I don't know what to do. Yeah, you know what to do. Pray. That's the first thing. Seek God's guidance. Seek His wisdom. And there are, you know, there are people who have gone before, who've been in. That's why the retreat is so good. And next year, we're going to have a chance to do more of the sharing, okay? Where we sit down and talk about situations that we've gone through and how we've come out triumphantly to help other people know, okay, and if somebody is struggling in that area, they may get an answer. Just like parents can sit down and talk about how they've gone through and say, well, this is what I did, this is what I did, and help us to grow. None of us knows everything about anything, and humility will allow us to learn that the thing that keeps us from learning and growing is the knowledge we already have. Oh, I hope you heard that. What keeps us from growing and learning is knowledge we already have, that we say we're relying on. That's the truth. No, that's just the knowledge you have. God ain't gonna make you omniscient when He is the omniscient one. You see what happened with Solomon's wisdom, eh? He ended up having to write Ecclesiastes. He's saying, well, all is vanity and vexation. I did it because I could. I did it because I wanted to. I did it because I was rich. I did it because I was powerful. Aye. Look what happened to David when he tried to fix the problem. Getting the problems. And here comes Bathsheba. David was a bad father now. I tell you that. David loved the Lord, but he wasn't a good father. So I ain't giving you David as an example of a good father. I just giving you this as an example of when David